graders. For our read aloud today, we're going to be reading a story called Little Burro by Jim Aronsky. While we listen to the story, I want you making sure you're doing all of the things that good readers do, like making text-to-self connections, making text-to-text connections, making inferences, visualizing, and wondering. Remember, all of these things help us become better, stronger readers and help us to think deeper about what we are reading. Okay, so again, our book today is called Little Burro. Burro is another word for donkey. Okay. So, Little Burro. Little Burro was born in a canyon on a hillside in a soft, sandy spot beside a big, round rock. It was her favorite place. The hillside was breezy and cool in the middle of the hot desert day. And warm and cozy at night when the sun had gone away. Little Burro was the only little burro in a band of wild burros. That means that they don't belong to anybody. They don't live on a farm or anything. They live in the wild. So Little Burro was the only little burro in a band of wild burros. They lived in a cozy canyon, eating dry twigs and water-filled cactus plants. One morning, the burro band began to leave their hillside home. Little Burro hee-hawed loudly, crying out to make them stay. When they did not stay, she turned her back and would not watch them walk away. So I want you to make a prediction or wonder right now about what's going to happen next. We know that Little Burro is a baby. So what's going to happen if Little Burro is staying there and all of the other burros, the band of burros, is leaving? Make a prediction in your head about what might happen next. All right, let's keep reading. Only when her mother began walking and called for her to come did Little Burro follow. She followed her mother and the others along a narrow, rocky trail. The word narrow means really skinny, so a really skinny trail. So she followed her mother and the others along a narrow, rocky trail. The trail led the burros along a steep and slippery ledge. I want you to make an inference right now about how do you think the burros are feeling. This is a narrow, slippery ledge. How do you think they're feeling? Awesome job making an inference. Let's keep reading. The trail crossed hot desert sands. With every burning step, Little Burro was farther from her favorite place. When they finally came to the end of the trail, the burro band began to run, racing toward a shimmering lake. It was their first visit since Little Burro had been born. Now she was big enough to make the trip. Little Burro had never seen a lake before. It looked as big as the sky and just as blue. So I want you to make another wonder or prediction. Why do you think the burros are here at this lake? Why do you think they walked all the way to get there? Why don't you wonder about what they might be doing there? You could say, I wonder what they're doing there. All right, let's keep reading. Little Burro watched her mother and the others drink from the lake. She took a sip. The water was cool and tasted good. Some fish jumped. A frog swam by. Little Burro jumped after the fish. Hee-haw, she shouted excitedly. She ran into the water, splashing the other burros. Hee-haw, hee-haw, they squealed to make little Burro stop. Hee-haw, she called back, splashing them again. Little Burro played in the water all afternoon. She was having so much fun, she did not want to leave. Her mother and the others quenched their thirst and cooled their legs in the lake. When the sun began to go down, they headed back up the hill on the same trail they had come down. Little Burro hee-hawed for them to come back to the water. Why do you think that she wants them to come back to the water? But the band of burros did not stop, and little Burro followed. As they walked back on the steep trail, the sun kept going down. It was dark when they reached the rocky hillside where little Burro was born. She found her favorite place beside the big round rock and lay down for the night. It was good to be home. But she missed the shimmering lake where she drank and splashed in the cool water. She missed the fish jumping and the frogs swimming. Right now you might be making a prediction about something. What might happen next? She curled up tight and fell asleep and dreamed that she was splashing there again. The lake was little Burro's other favorite place. And that is the end. And I'm going to go ahead and read the author's note at the back that tells us more. Author's note. The wild burros that live in the American Southwest are descended from African and Asian burros that were brought here to carry supplies for early explorers, pioneers, and later miners of gold and silver. While boating on a deep and crystal clear Arizona lake, I saw my very first group of wild burros. I watched the small band walk single file all the way down a long, narrow, and steep canyon trail to the edge of the lake. They grazed on green plants and wet their hooves in the cool water. Among them, one little burro stood close to its mother, eyeing our boat with what appeared to be a mixture of wariness and curiosity. Wariness means you're not sure of something and maybe a little bit afraid of it. After a while, it lost interest in us and simply enjoyed the water with the others. The little burro was very young and small. I wondered if this was its first trip down the long, steep trail to the lake. Years later, I remembered the wild burros and the canyon lake, and the story of little Burro began to develop in my mind. First in words, then in pictures. The character of little Burro captures much of the personality I saw in the little wild burro on the shore of the beautiful Arizona lake. I enjoyed writing and illustrating this story very much. Jim Aronsky. All right, and that is the end of our story. So I want you guys to think, in this story, little Burro has a favorite place. Do you have a favorite place? A place where you feel really happy or really want to be? By the end of the story, she actually has 2 favorite places. So think, do you have a favorite place or maybe a couple favorite places? What makes them your favorite? Why do you like those places? Right now you're making a text to self connection. All right. Awesome job reading along today, second graders. I really enjoyed reading this story with you. When you're reading independently, keep making all of those connections, wondering, visualizing, and making inferences about what characters are feeling. Have a great rest of your day.